I want to have an honest talk to y'all about where I'm at in my journey. So basically, I'm documenting my growth. I'm not teaching, but I'm just telling you what I know. Okay, so take this as a friend, just giving you what he knows, so that we could elevate together. So let's start off with this. Right, there's this concept in music called compression. Right, where if you have a waveform that you recorded into the microphone, you know what I'm saying? If you have a waveform and you got too loud at certain points, and at certain points you were too quiet, right? A compression is basically, it's gonna push those quiet parts up and also squish those large parts down and create this really nice and balanced vocal line, right? So let me show you. Check this out. See how all that is level? Yeah, that's compressed, right? That's It's a nice and level vocal wave, right? There's no peaks, no sharp spikes coming out of it, and there are some parts that are quiet, but that's me taking breaks in between what I'm saying or what I'm singing. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I'm gonna take this concept of compression, which is basically balancing too much energy and lifting up no energy, right? And I'm going to apply it to life, specifically my life. And how I'm going to apply it is I'm going to create this concept. Instead of motion, I'm going to create this concept called gravity, right? Gravity is like this to your energy, right? It's this tight focus, right? This focus is like so powerful that it's like, as you walk, you kind of can like push things and pull things, push and pull, right? The concept of life itself, yin and yang, push and pull. And that's what an aura is. That's what a vortex is. That's what a torus field is. It's a combination of pushing and pulling with magnetism, and that's the concept of gravity. Gravity is not just things falling when you drop it, right? That's physical science versions. That's physical science's version of gravity, but real gravity is this ultimate magnetism, and how I'm gonna apply this level of this concept of compression to my life, right? Where, like, okay, look, right now in my life, I am tired of having too much desire like a puppy, right? Now, let's say the worst thing a puppy could do is pee, right? And that's like life or death when it's excited, right? So it's like this. I have puppy energy because I'm very young, but I'm also an old soul that feels deeply. So that in combination is like, holy shit, I feel deeply and I feel really passionately and I get really excited about things and I daydream a lot. And my thing is with women, I daydream about women. Now, not sexually, because I quit that and I quit porn a year ago. So I'm proud of myself for that. But just like being with a woman, just like being a romantic, and it's this desire that ultimately leads to suffering, because it's a desire out of a place of want, which is a place of lack on the inside of me, and it's starting to cause so much inner tension within me that I'm at this breaking point where I'm about to crash out and just say, I'm tired of desiring, period, right? So basically, I'm getting down to this. I'm like, hold on, okay, like, don't desire crazily. I would say don't desire at all. Be and exist and enjoy, right? And it's like this subtle way of existing to where you can just enjoy things in the moment without like wanting something else to happen to the moment. You're trying to change the moment, when in actuality, accepting the moment as is actually brings about better moments. Because if you accept the moment as it is, you become more magnetic and you start to become more aware of this magnetism. And it is this magnetism that is the ultimate guide. The feminine it's like the divine feminine within everybody, right? And as we tap into this divine feminine or this inner guide or this magnetism by being more accepting of the present and what's going on right now, receptive to what's going on right now, then we kind of like ultimately fall into this seat where we can now feel a little bit better. And because we're feeling a bit better and feeling a bit more into our nervous system, which is always attuned into our higher self, sometimes we just block that call, right? Or block that frequency with these desires and these crazy emotions and all this, right? But if we just if we just sit down, calm and compress down, then we can boost all the areas we're lacking energetically up and compress our field and create this gravity, right? So basically, when you start to tune into this path, this feeling, you start to become guided by your higher self, which can hijack your nervous system, just like your lower self or lower entities could hijack your nervous system, right? Possession is not just about bad entities. It's also about angelic, right? We can be possessed by angelic entities. You've seen it in church and stuff. You've seen the Holy Ghost, which is Kundalini energy. Somebody's literally spazzing out because something spoke to them so deeply that it just instantly like smacked whatever they had going on right out their nervous system. Like it just pushed it out of their body. And this is the power of frequency and energy transference, right? But as long as we are receptive, right? People who go to church are receptive. They're receptive to energy. They put their hands up in a receiving state. So this is what it's about. It's about being receptive to the moment. Receptive enough to where you can hear the call or hear the guidance of your higher self or your guides or your ancestors who are benevolent, right? Because we want to make that clear when we're calling on these entities. We don't just want to call on entities. We want to call on entities with a purpose, with intention, with benevolent energy. So when we are starting to be guided, I know I'm going off tangent, but here, stick with me here. When we are being guided, we start to take actions that are going to generate more magnetism, that then bring in more opportunity, that make us more happy and peaceful, that ultimately makes us continue wanting to make magnetic action, that brings about more attraction, which opportunity, which makes us even happier, and then it makes us want to continue what we started. We started a snowball of good intention and a snowball of magnetic action backed by highest good, right? Like this is where you're supposed to be. You feel like this is it. This is life. And it starts with that one little thought in the back of your head, like maybe I should do something different today that'll benefit me in the future. Like yesterday, look, hold on. The only reason I'm channeling this video right now, hold on my phone for the timeout. The only freaking reason I am right here, right now, channeling this video is because yesterday I took one different tiny action. Well, it was very impactful actually. So, but just hear me out though. The action was me drinking harataki tea, right? So harataki is this fruit. It is known to cleanse the pineal gland, cleanse the brain, make you breathe by 300%, they say, and also detoxify the gut. So it's really an all-in-one fruit. It's a good fruit, and it does not taste like fruit. It's basically mud and clay, but I got the powdered version of it, and I put 2 tablespoons into a cup, preferably a tea mug, and basically, I'm gonna get back to my topic, but basically, I put 2 in a cup, 2 teaspoons in a cup, or tablespoons, whatever, and then I heated up water in my kettle, or if you have a pan or a pot, if you have a pot, heat up some water, and then just basically make tea water, and then pour on top of that harataki. Basically, I did that yesterday, and I see my consciousness already jumping levels versus me yesterday. Me yesterday, I was just making music. I wasn't thinking about nothing spiritual. And it's just like there are times where I actually have moments where I'm tapped in, but I'm not focused on my spiritual life. And I noticed that when I clean my pineal gland, I naturally become this version of me that you're seeing right now, who is focused on his spiritual life, who is trying his hardest to, you know what I'm saying? It's not like something crazy where I'm like, I'm so hard, I'm trying so hard. I'm not that kind of person, but I like effortless effortless. See, we're getting back to the topic. It kind of magnetically aligns itself back, because I wasn't trying to get back to the topic, but the topic, it magnetically came back on its own through this channel. You know, it's pretty cool that way. But basically, I like effortless life. I like effortless evolution. I like effortless friendships, effortless relationships. I like effortless everything. That's my preferred way of living. The old school hard work shit, it's gone. That's gone. That is no longer how we are living. We are moving into an era where we can understand the quantum universe, the quantum realm, as a balance between masculine, which is action, and feminine magnetism, right? It's not about the amount of work you put in. It's about the quality of action you take. You notice how there are certain people who just have cult-like fan bases. When they take a sip of water, that like, folks are just like, oh, he took a sip of water, oh, type shit. Yeah. That's basically like the level of magnetism I'm talking about. This is the gravity, the gravitational, I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? So just imagine the aura around you, right? When you take it and it tightens and it vibrates harder and faster type thing. You know what I'm saying? When you compress something, you're taking all the energy and you're pushing it into a single point, which is making it more powerful. This is basic chi dynamics. Anyways, hold on, let me do another clip. Yeah, again, basically I wouldn't be here if I didn't take that small action, being guided, because like I'm at this point where in my life I'm recognizing where I'm being inconsistent when it comes to like my path, and that also includes relationships. Now, I was being inconsistent within the relationship realm and giving and overgiving and overextending for people who weren't, who didn't need that, who didn't want that from me, who didn't want me, period. So it's just like, okay, yeah, I stopped doing that because I have too much pride. I have way too much freaking pride to constantly chase after people. I will let you go. I will instantly let you go, honestly. If you want to go, bye. Like, yeah, I don't care how much, I don't care if I loved you so deep. I don't care. I have too much pride to let somebody walk over me. You know, I have too much pride for that. I would never, ever, ever beg for somebody to stay with me. I would never beg. No. I'm connected to myself. I have a life to live. Like, this is the thing. Like, you gotta express yourself, because when you express yourself, you're connecting to yourself. You're channeling your most inner child self, which is the core essence of your soul. And the more you channel that, the more you connect to yourself, the more new you learn about yourself, or I would say the more you remember about yourself. And then you kind of create this triangulation of, I'm just using triangulation as a term here, kind of create this triple point, or this, maybe you could put a circle around that triangle, right? So draw a triangle out, right? You got expression, remembering self-love, expression, remembering self-love, right? It's a triangle, and then you can draw a circle around those 3 points, and those 3 points will always come back around to each other. And that's what expression has done for me in my life. I've been expressing myself since I was born. I love expressing myself through the things I love. It's like I use the things I love to express my soul, and then my soul speaks back to me in the form of surprising, beautiful moments of connection and remembering with myself. You know, I started with music. Y'all gotta check me out, bro. Y'all gotta check my music out. Check my Instagram out at DAYYNOVA. That's my Instagram. And yeah, my YouTube is also that. And so if you want to check that out, cool. And yeah, check out my music. I tease some music on here sometimes. So yeah, pretty cool. On TikTok. I'm on TikTok right now. I might post this to YouTube as well, because this is going to be a super long video. Anyways, yeah, this is 14 minutes long. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyways, when you are present enough, you start to receive that guidance, the subtle nudges to do better. Once you take action on that, you kind of create more magnetism and more opportunity, and then you bring more magnetism to you, which brings you a louder guidance, which brings you further towards your destiny. Closer towards your destiny, which brings you more magnetism, more opportunity. Yeah, so you get the point of the video. The point of the video I'm making is basically sit with yourself enough to recognize where you're being inconsistent, all the fallacies, all the logical fallacies, all the things that you need to take out of your life, all the habits that are probably not the best for you, and slowly do this over time and try to do better and better, and you'll see that these things are not only changing things in the physical, but it's impacting all of life itself, because the butterfly effect, all things are connected. What if I had a conversation with a brother today, not my brother but a brother, right? So basically I'm helping him kind of see where I'm basically reflecting to him what he's doing with his life, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's helping him out, But what if I didn't drink the harataki yesterday that allowed me to channel that level of knowledge today? What if I could have, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna focus on that. Basically, if it wasn't for me following my intuition, which is the subtle nudge to, hey, maybe try some get back into herbs and get back into meditation, and, these subtle nudges really push me back into who I'm supposed to be, who I am, who I'm embodying, right? Who I'm remembering, right? So basically the point is, look at all those points in your life and assess them, and don't be like, damn, you don't cuss yourself out. Be a little more graceful with yourself. You need that grace. You need that feminine energy. You need that. We all need that. We need that grace. I want that. At least I want to be graceful, and I want to be graced with grace from others. I want to receive grace from other people. I don't want somebody to be like, you're doing this wrong. Go do this. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants that. And so that's why you shouldn't treat yourself that way. Look at all these inconsistencies and follow these subtle nudges to do better, and you'll see yourself in your dream reality. You will see yourself there. And it's just like, boom, enjoy the journey. But basically as a friend, I'm coming to you with what I know right now. Hopefully this helps somebody out. It's kind of like, maybe take some notes, or it's kind of too late for me to say that, right? Maybe go back and take some notes, or rewatch the video, share it to a friend, try to break it down with them, you know what I'm saying? But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed channeling to this extent. This is the longest I've ever channeled into a clip. This video is like 3 or 4 clips, and it's like 18 minutes. I used to have to record, but now I'm just I'm going. So it's I'm seeing the improvement, I have chills right now. This is awesome. But yeah, I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and I'm truly, truly happy for people to join my journey. Thank you. Take care. Boom. Bye.